Hello and welcome to Growth with Value, where today I'll be showing around the portfolio management system. We start here with an empty portfolio. I'll walk you through adding a stock, and then I'll fast forward while I add a few more shares from US, Canada, England, and Europe and Australia. So I'll start with a British stock, Legal & General. And you just enter the ticker here, enter the quantity you purchased, 1300, the average price. So if you have bought in more than one tranche, you just add all your purchases together and divide by the number of shares. Let's say we bought those at 228. Currency that I paid is GBP. And they are paying a dividend of 1964 pence. Now, you notice here, or something a bit different about the way that British shares are quoted, is they're quoted not in pounds but in pennies. So for the price, you enter it as it is quoted. So that is 228 pence, or £2.28, and the portfolio management system will take care of that. So having entered these details, having entered them correctly, we just click on Add Ticker. Ticker not found. LSE, of course. So try again. Good test of the error trapping. So that has now been added, and if we just refresh the screen, we can see that Legal & General has been added to our portfolio, and at the top we have our portfolio summary. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a few more stocks, and then get back to you when we have a more complete portfolio. So there we have it. I've added about 8 different stocks, and we can see that we have BHP from Australia, Bank of Montreal, and Canadian National Railway from Canada. From Germany, BMW, Burberry, and Legal & General from the UK. And we have Coca-Cola, and to go with it, McDonald's in the US. So just looking at our portfolio here as we go along the top here with our quantity, the currencies that we entered, our prices and costs. The portfolio has picked up the current prices, or at least the delayed prices, and then the price change on the day. So these are the prices and changes that you will see quoted. Next we have a reporting currency, and you can see that because I haven't chosen a reporting currency, it's just defaulted to the trade currency. So the current value of our position, and then the daily change, and the overall profit and loss as well. So those values are all rolled up into the total portfolio value. But because we are adding different currencies, this total value doesn't have much meaning. By the way, you can add notes as you add your positions. So in order to compare apples and apples, what we have to do is select a reporting currency. So obviously I have invested here all over the world, but let's just say that I am based in Europe. So I can set my reporting currency, and I can change that at any time if I want to denominate that in another currency. So that's now been added. I need to just reload the screen for that to take effect and for the portfolio to be repriced. And now we can see that our reporting currency is in euros, and that our portfolio is valued in euros. So up here, what we paid, the current value, our overall profit and loss, our daily movement, and our overall expected dividend. So you can see here when we were entering our purchases and positions, we entered the total dividend per share, and that has been um, rolled up and calculated to give us our annual dividend and our dividend yield. So just reading across here again, we can see that in this currency column is the trade currency. So all the values to the right of it are actually, let's see at this top line, the BHP bulletin. The price is in Australian dollars, as is the cost and current price. And then we get to our reporting currency, and that's when it converts those values so that we can see in our domestic currency what our profit and loss and what our value is. So that's our basic portfolio um, overview and the mechanics of entering it. We just scroll down here a bit. I've got a couple of charts here. So there's our position. We can see that largely McDonald's, BMO, and Legal & General make up most of our portfolio. And if we look at it by industry, hotels, insurance, and banks. So down here we have our dividend calendar. So when we entered our position, we entered the total annual dividend per share. But down here, growth with value, we track all of the dividend announcements, and that's where this matrix comes from. So just looking at 2024, we can see that Burberry and McDonald's have announced dividends in January and March, and the rest of the year is empty because it hasn't been announced. But if we select, and you can see here, we can go back quite a very long way. So we just select the latest complete year. Then we have quite a nice little dividend calendar here. We can see who's paying, what months they fall in, and what the total anticipated dividend, if we extrapolate from last year, would be this year. So what's interesting here, if you are a dividend investor or you're just interested in your cash flows from dividends, you can see that, for instance, in November we don't have anything. And if we're looking to balance that out, one way of doing that is to look at the stocks that we're tracking, the ones that we're interested in, maybe that we've researched, maybe that we might add to our portfolio. And so just coming down here to our watch list dividends, it's the same concept. These are dividends that have been announced or paid by the companies which are on our watch list. And there's a separate video on the watch list if you're interested. So again, just taking the last complete year, and we're looking at a gap there in November. So who's paying in November? And we can see if we did want to have a cash flow in November from dividends, that we could add Caterpillar to that portfolio just to fill that in. And that is it. That is the growth with value portfolio management system. Thank you. Bye.